Also now want to go to our breaking news correspondent Shanelle Kaul following the latest developments with some new information. Shanelle.
Okay, I want to take you live to my computer screen because we are getting some new information this hour right now from West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey. So let me share my screen with you and you can see what he said here. This, again, happened just moments ago. He's saying we're now receiving conflicting reports about the condition of our 2 Guard members and will provide additional updates once we receive more complete information. Our prayers are with these brave service members, their families, and the entire Guard community. I'm also just opening up a statement here that's a bit longer that was sent into our newsroom just to see if there's anything further in this statement. He says, quote, Denise and I are devastated by the news that 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C. According to reports, both members did not survive. We are in direct contact with our Guard and other officials and are working to obtain the most accurate information as quickly as possible. It goes on to say, our prayers are with these brave service members, their families, and the extraordinary men and women of our Guard who put themselves on the line every day. West Virginia, he says, stands united behind them. We will do everything in our power to support their families as they endure this unimaginable loss. Again, so that seemed to come into our newsroom before this latest social media post that I read you now, saying that there are some conflicting reports. So we'll continue to follow this story closely.
Thank you. We'll definitely continue to follow that. Obviously, information coming in fast, but we'll confirm and make sure. Let's bring in CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. And Weijia, have we heard from the president yet?
The president has posted on social media a short time ago. Now, keep in mind, this was before the governor of West Virginia made the announcement that the 2 National Guardsmen from his state died, and obviously before the governor seemed to retract that and walk it back. But earlier this afternoon, just before 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, the president posted the animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded, are now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded. But regardless, we pay a very steep price. God bless our great National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. And, you know, he continues to say that he, as president, and everyone associated with the office of the presidency is with you. And it's notable that just yesterday, President Trump made remarks, and he actually thanked the National Guard for their service, not only here in the nation's capital, but other cities in the country that have been deployed to help curb crime. And so it's something that he often talks about. He has a lot of great pride for these guardsmen who we see often, especially in this area that is now a crime scene. In fact, this is just 2 blocks from the White House North Lawn, where you usually see us reporting from. And so, you know, I can tell you just anecdotally that we see guardsmen often just patrolling the area, patrolling the blocks around the White House to ensure not only that officials, but that tourists and everyone living in Washington, D.C. are protected. And this is a very, very high traffic area because the location is right where there is a metro stop. So if you want to visit the White House, if you want to try to catch a glimpse or walk down to the Ellipse or to the Washington Monument even, this is the stop where you would come. And so it is remarkable that it would unfold during this high traffic time, during this high season, because many people might be traveling here with their families to spend a few days off. So it is, you know, close to home for the president, obviously, and for his White House officials who say they are actively monitoring the situation. We should note that President Trump himself is not in town. Last night, he left Washington, D.C., and he is down in Florida spending the holiday with his family.
Weijia, we should note that we see you all the time from the front lawn of the White House. How does that change things in terms of security? Is that why we're seeing you in the newsroom today? And is that area now secured? What happens with security when something like this happens, being so close to the White House, 2 blocks away?
Yeah. I was actually just checking with the White House to see if it is on lockdown. The last I checked it was, but of course we do know there is a suspect in custody. That does not mean the lockdown has been lifted, however, because there's obviously an ongoing live investigation there just blocks away from the White House. So I'm trying to determine if and when that will be lifted in order to move traffic as normal. But you are seeing live pictures now, obviously, because of its proximity to the White House. This is an extremely busy and active scene here as investigators try to piece together what happened. To answer your other question, I was here working out of the bureau anyway because the president is not at the White House today. But again, you're right in that typically that's exactly where we would be. This is so close to the entrance that White House officials use, that the press uses to enter the White House grounds.
Weijia Jiang, thank you. We'll certainly touch base with you again. Appreciate your information.